And we are back with a podcast about movies. As always, I am Jacob Barber, joined by Austin. Austin, how's it going?
Hey man, I'm doing good. I've been legitimately, man, like excited for this all week, man. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Like ever since we had this idea, and we'll explain it in a second. But to do this sort of random blind ranking thing, I really like this. I think this is going to be a good time.
Yes, I'm excited. I have a wheel ready for you, and just to explain it real quick, what we're doing. Well, let's just jump right into it.
Yeah,
What we're gonna do is we each have a wheel. I have a wheel of horror
I
movies.
have a wheel.
Austin has a wheel of animated movies, and we're going to spin the wheel for each other. We do not know what is on this wheel. He has no idea what horror movies I chose. I have no idea what animated movies he chose. What we're going to do is we're going to spin the wheel, and we have to rank them 1 through 20 without knowing what's next. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. I've seen these like on TikTok. Well, I don't go on TikTok, but like I've seen the shorts and stuff, and
Yeah,
people will do it with like.
I think we've seen like the wrestler ones where it's like some wrestler comes up and you got to like 1 through 5, like who where you would put it. And I think this idea, we're just going to expand on that beyond a TikTok video. We're going to do a whole show about it. I think this is going to be a ton of fun. I picked out some good stuff. We each picked out, like, we should say, pretty mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing we agreed to. Not like anything super obscure, but a general animated fan such as yourself has probably seen all these. We each have a couple of alternates just on the off chance that this is one of those goofy things. But I've seen pretty much every big mainstream or kind of classic horror movie. So whatever Jacob picked, I'm pretty sure I've got it in the bag, but we'll see. But yeah, we're each going to spin the wheel, and we can still take a minute, after the movie comes up to talk about that movie, what we like, about that movie, memories of that movie, whatever. We're not just going to breeze through this in 20 minutes.
Right.
we want to make a show out of this. We want to talk about these movies as well and what we like about them. And then that'll also give you and I a chance to give us a minute to kind of figure out where we actually want to put this thing on the ranking and not make a snap decision. So again, not knowing what's coming up next, you don't know if something's better, something's worse. I will say I don't really have any like stinkers on my list, so I'll at least give you that. Okay. But that might make it harder for you, Jacob. No, there's not really any like stinky movies on here. But I don't. If you give me some stinky movies, that's fine. I can do
a few that may be considered.
Sure. But yeah, we'll see. But I'm looking forward to this, man. So I've got my wheel on another tab here. I'll be clicking over on. I just have my whiteboard with numbers. I'm just going to mark them off for myself for reference, so I know what numbers I have left. And then as Jacob tells me what he's ranked, I'm going to write it down on a separate piece of paper. He's going to do the same for me. And what we're going to do is at the very, very end, once all the slots are filled, we're each going to read back to each other the full list 20-1, and you can kind of comment on it. We'll each comment and be like, well, yeah, that one probably would be higher than that one. That would be lower than that one, whatever. What our actual ranking would be if you had put this in front of us. So, we're going to do that at the very end. So, yeah, this is going to be a ton of fun, man. I'm ready to get into it.
I'm looking forward to it. So, I've got my wheel ready. And so, we're going to rank 20, but I made a wheel of 30 just so it's not like I want to be in suspense in that last one. Like, what's that last movie going to be?
Okay.
Like, all right, well, the last movie is going to be da-da-da.
Well, you know what I may do then is I have 4 alternates. I'm going to plug those alternates in right now. You know what? Yeah. You know what? Just to mix it up. So I'm going to give me just a second, talk amongst yourselves for just a second. But yeah, I'm going to put those in here because I have them listed right here. And, all right, add those to the wheel here. 2 more. Just to, pat it out just a little bit, see what happens.
And speaking of rankings, if you want to know our thoughts on the MCU and how we would rank the top 10.
That's right.
We just did an MCU ranking a couple days ago here on the channel.
Sure did, yeah. It was a marathon show. It was a lengthy show. It was a tiring show by the time we got to the end of it. But yeah, it was definitely great to hear kind of where everybody lays. We had a definitive kind of consensus top 10 that I was happy with, like the top 10 we came up with, and some of the honorable mentions, all good stuff. But yeah, that was a good time. So if you want to see Moose Haas get really, really drunk on camera in his hotel room, go watch that. Literally, I think he consumed a bottle and a half of wine while we were on the thing or something like that. He at least went through a couple of them. So yeah. But it was a good time all around. All right, I am ready, sir. I have plugged in even my alternates, so I think we are ready to go. So would you like your first movie first, or would you like
Sure.
to give me a movie first?
Sure, give me a movie. I'm
Okay.
excited.
All right. I'm gonna hit the shuffle button once or twice more just to make sure it's totally shuffled. The spin is in. I know you can't see it, but again, give us about 10 seconds as it spins. Ooh, man, we're gonna start off with a tough one here, Jacob. I hate to do this to you, but we are starting off with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. A movie I know is near and dear.
I'm
to your
very
heart.
high on this movie.
Mhm.
It's creeping up. I actually just rewatched it because we did our Marvel show a couple weeks ago, and this was in my top 10 for
Yeah.
Marvel. And I'm really looking forward to the sequel. I'm very excited for that. So I'll probably even rewatch this one again later.
Right.
As that one's coming out.
Like the week before the movie comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
But
what else you
yeah.
have on the list. So I think just to be safe, because I am super high on this movie,
Okay.
I'm gonna go number 2.
Number 2. All right. He's
I'm gonna go number 2.
taking a stab at it. All right. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. At number 2, he's taking a real gamble on there. You never know what could be on here, but that is a gamble. Hey, I appreciate the the boldness of the choice, so I can certainly appreciate that. But yeah, all right. But hey, I never said it was going to be easy when I picked some of these movies for you. So all right, well, he's going to spin the wheel for me and see what comes up. Again, mine are horror movies. Jacob has all animated movies.
All right, and your first movie.
Child's Play. Now, the original or the remake?
The original.
The original. Okay. So yeah, I very much enjoy the original. I like the sort of it's not like a mystery aspect because we know what's going on as an audience, but I like sort of the the everybody kind of slowly finding out. It has one of my favorite horror movie moments when the mom just flat out confronts the doll when she has suspicion and is like, "Talk right now or I'll throw you in the fire." And she's like holding him over the fire and you bitch. Like it's one of my favorite horror moments of all time. I will say I've gone back to other ones in the series a little more, stuff like Bride of Chucky, a little more, kind of more my actual favorites. So I'm gonna feel comfortable in going because it's a really good movie. I'm gonna take lucky number 13. I'm gonna knock 13 off for this one. I don't think I'm safe keeping it out of my top 10 because it's not one of my personal super favorites that I go back to a lot. So I'm gonna keep it out of the top, but it's also a quality movie, so I don't want to go too low. Right. So yeah, I'm gonna knock off number 13 with that one, Jacob. All right. Sounds good. All right, well, let me give your wheel another little spin here as it's going, slowing down. Ooh, this is actually one of the alternates I threw in there, so I'm glad I did. We are going to have the holiday classic, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, another one I'm super high on. It's like it's a Tim Burton movie, although not directed by Tim Burton, but it is his story. And I enjoy Henry Selick as a director too. He just did Wendell and Wild on Netflix, which I it's not as good as this or Coraline.
Yeah,
but it's still really good stop motion. I love the stop motion style.
I've grown to appreciate the movie over the years as well. Like I used to not be into it, but I've grown to kind of appreciate even just the creature designs.
Yeah.
I love the whole sequence where he's going around giving the messed up presents to all the kids. I think that sequence is a ton of fun. Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm just stalling to give you another minute to think about it.
Yeah, I love the music in this too. I think it's Danny Elfman that does the singing voice, and
yes,
yeah, incredible. Man, it's two bangers in a row. I'm not as high on this as Spider-Verse.
Okay.
I'm gonna go number 8.
Number 8. Okay, so I'm gonna write that down here. Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay. All right, sounds good. Yeah, I think my first one with Child's Play is a good goal line marker, like line of scrimmage for me, like whether it's kind of better or worse. Like I think I'm gonna use that to kind of gauge mine. So yeah, we'll see what comes up for me next.
All right. One that is notorious for being a tournament fights winner.
Oh, okay.
We have Chopping Mall.
Chopping Mall. Okay, it's a favorite of mine. Okay, all right. It is a favorite of mine. I will say it's not the greatest quality movie, so I'll put that out there. But I certainly love it. I love the runtime, which is like 77 minutes. It's breezy. It's got some good character actors thrown in there. I mean, there's a scene. It shows you how 80s this movie is, Jacob, where they arm up in the mall with shotguns and rifles, to battle the killer robots. I should say it's a killer robot in a mall movie kind of a thing. These robots gone rogue, these security robots. So it's a ton of fun, man. So you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to be too crazy here, but you know what? It is a slight personal favorite over Child's Play. I'm just going to go slightly one up. I'm going to go number 12. I'm going to put it at number 12. See what happens. I know I'm not jumping all over the place just yet, but I feel like I haven't really hit that mark just yet, so we'll see. All right. Okay, so I'll take Chopping Mall number 12, and it's time to spin your wheel again and see what movie comes up for you. Spin, spin, spin. Winding down here. Okay, we're going to take a little trip to the 90s with some traditional animation with The Prince of Egypt.
Ooh.
One of the first kind of DreamWorks sort of movies with The Prince of Egypt. Yeah.
Second one after Ants. And what a great voice cast they got for this movie.
Oh, yeah. What, Brad Pitt and right? Or some, a couple of people really, really solid. They went all out with this one.
Yeah. We after our draft yesterday, we did a draft over on Henry's channel of sequels. Please go check that out.
Please go watch that.
And then as we were just kind of hanging out afterwards, we did an animated draft, and DreamWorks was one of the options. You had to draft a DreamWorks, and this was actually my pick.
Yeah.
So, I really do enjoy this one. I don't think I enjoy it as much as the other two that I've already ranked, though. So, I mean, that's limiting my options a little bit. I will go 14.
14, okay.
14
for The Prince of Egypt. All right. Sounds good, sir. All right. We'll see how that pans out in the long run. And time once again to spin a horror movie.
All right. Speaking of sequels, we're going to go to a sequel that was eligible in that. Nope. Sorry. Let's get that notification out of there first.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go with Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2. Yeah, that's an interesting one. It's one that's definitely grown for me over the years. I've seen it in the theater 2 or 3 times. Got a chance to over the years. It's essentially kind of a remake of the first one for anybody who hasn't seen it. Just with a bigger budget. It's pretty much the same thing. Bruce Campbell versus demons in a cabin, but higher production value, some really funny stuff. It's very, very watchable, and I definitely would. I think I had it in my 32. So you know what? I'm gonna jump a couple of notches and go. Let's go number 9. Let's go number 9 for Evil Dead 2 on this one. I feel like it's gonna be a pretty solid entry. Be an okay, safe top 10er if it all comes down to it. So
right.
All right. So another spin here, and for
even I, the non-horror guy, really enjoy this movie.
Yeah. Okay, this could be interesting. It's right on the border. Let's see what the wheel says. Okay, we are gonna have, Jacob, our first Pixar entry in the series tonight, and it's gonna be Ratatouille.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
This is one I like this one. I'm not as high on it as some others. Some people have this in their top 5 for Pixar, and I get it. Like it is a fun movie. It's a very fun concept. A rat controlling a guy cooking by pulling his hair. Man, I'm just going to use it. Like, do I enjoy it more or less than the one that I just ranked?
Like Prince of
Egypt. I'm going to be like, wait, what did I put there? What did I put there? Now I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 16. I'm gonna go just 16, a couple below.
Okay.
I'll go 16.
All right, 16 for Ratatouille. Okay, our first Pixar getting a little low on the rankings for the first Pixar that pops up. We'll see. Maybe there'll be some Pixar ones that you're higher on. We'll see. There could be. Could be.
There are. I don't know if they're on the list.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying there could be some Pixar movies on the wheel. Maybe you don't know which ones, but maybe a couple. Maybe a couple. All right.
All right. One that just had a sequel released last year.
Ooh.
We're going to Orphan.
Orphan. Okay. Yeah, I've seen Orphan twice. I just watched Orphan First Kill not that long ago when I was squeezing it in for me and Wolfman's show. Orphan was definitely a surprise in the theater where it caught you off guard how smartly written it was and how well acted it was. I like the sort of twist that it introduces for anybody who hasn't figured it out yet. She's not actually like a 9-year-old kid. It's just like a grown woman who looks like a 9-year-old or whatever. So, yeah, but it's not really like a big personal favorite for me. So I'm going to take a big swing at this. I'm going to put this at 19. Yeah, because I've only seen it twice. It's not big on my personals. I'll save that other spot if there's something either worse or just I've only watched like once. So I'll go 19 on that one. Take a swing and see what happens with Orphan. All right. Get my tab over here. Hit the shuffle button a couple more times just to make sure we're nice and random here. Spin, slowing down. Okay, this could be interesting. All right. This is one I actually enjoy a lot more than other people. We're going to go to the Madagascar franchise with Madagascar Escape to Africa.
Okay. I've only seen this like maybe a couple times, and I don't really remember much. Like the Madagascar franchise isn't one that I go back to very often.
Maybe it'll make it easier for you to rank this one.
Yeah, like if I had to pick a favorite in the franchise, it's probably Penguins. They're the best part of all these movies.
Good spin-off movie. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna follow suit and just I don't want you to think I'm copying you, but
no, I get it.
I'm gonna go 19.
19. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, it's just the Madagascar franchise isn't one that I go. I don't even own any of the. I own a lot of animated movies, but the Madagascar franchise.
I have the Madagascar like set. I think it has all three plus the Penguins thing, and then it also has like some of the TV episodes like thrown in there, like randomly, like some of the Penguins episodes. It's like an 11. They say it's like an 11 film thing, but I think it's like 5 films and like short films, like 6 short films or something like that. Whatever it is, I have some set around here with that on it. Again. I like those movies, so if my niece were to grow up and want to watch those, you could do way worse than the Madagascar movies. I think they're legitimately pretty funny and pretty good. So, all right.
We're spinning, and we landed on The Strangers.
The Strangers. Okay, that's an interesting one. It's one I revisited like maybe a year ago, not too long ago. I know there's a remake coming with Renny Harlin directing, which is very strange because it's a movie from 2008 that doesn't need a remake, still works, still very good. It does have one kind of infuriating thing with it when Liv Tyler goes back to the house. It's kind of always been this one moment that really pisses me off about the movie. Just it's a really bad character decision that's kind of unforgivable. But the movie itself is still very atmospheric. Very creepy, but it's not like a personal favorite. I do think it's quality. I'm gonna go 15. Let's go 15. Right in that sort of top of the bottom 5, if you will. Yeah. I know. I got to be careful. I'm knocking off all these like lower half numbers. I got to be careful. I'm gonna have to start ranking stuff a little bit higher. But we'll see how that pans out for me if I end up putting some shitty in the top 10. All right, spinning the wheel for you, sir, on the other tab. Here we go. Oh, another alternate I threw in there, Jacob. So you're getting some of the alternates tonight. So this is going to be, we're going back to DreamWorks. We're actually going to do Shrek the Third.
I go back to Shrek 1 and Shrek 2 a lot. But the last two,
yeah.
Is
this a possible 20 right here? It could sound like it. It could be.
I don't know. I have to ask myself, would I rather rewatch Madagascar 2 or Shrek 3 first?
You could say if they were both in front of you right now.
They were both in front of me.
Which one would you watch?
I think I love the character of Shrek. more than I like the characters of Madagascar that aren't the penguins.
Mm-hmm.
So I will just go one above, and I'm going to go 18.
18. Okay. All right. Shrek the Third. Yeah, it's weird. I threw all these alternates in there. Now I'm hitting all the alternates. It's very strange, but that's okay. That's really cool. All right.
We're going to go very classic.
Very classic.
By classic, I mean 30s.
Ooh.
Frankenstein.
Okay, so I got to see, quick story, a double feature of Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein. I want to say probably like 2011. It was, or it was probably like 2016. One of the anniversaries, either like kind of the 80th or 90th or something like that.
Yeah.
Got to see them both. Again, I like those movies. They're very breezy. They're all like 65 minutes long. I mean, they're very, very easy to watch. The original Frankenstein is really good. Good performances. It moves quickly. Some good stuff with the townsfolks. I like a lot of the Universal monster movies. I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna make that kind of my new benchmark. Let's go number 10 on Frankenstein. Yeah, those Universal monster movies. There's a charm about them. I really, really like. And they're very easy to watch around Halloween time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very, very quick. Very quick. All right. So, I have the whole big box set next to me. Like 30 movies in there. It's a little crazy. All right. So, we have, okay. All right. We're, again, I only had a couple of DreamWorks, but we're kind of hitting all of them. Unfortunately, that's the way the wheel's going today. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is going to be your next shot.
Okay.
I heard you say it's your favorite of the series. I think you maybe mentioned here and there.
Yeah, it honestly, I think I could choose any of these as my favorite of the trilogy because I think this can rival, the Toy Story trilogy as like in terms of quality and just obviously they have a leg up on the animation because it is a 2010s trilogy. So, but I still think Toy Story and Toy Story 2 look good. But this is a really good trilogy. Number 2 is a lot of fun. I like the characters. I like the voice performances. I think we put. I know How to Train Your Dragon was number 2 in the animated tier ranker that we did. I can't remember if number 2 was nominated or not, but I think they're both S tier level. Not just for that, spoilers for our when we get the championship episode, but not just. I don't think they're just S tier for that period, but they're for at least one of them should make it in the top 10 of all time. I think.
Sure.
Is it this one? I don't know. I think I'll go. Man, I love animation. I get higher and higher on this franchise every time I watch it. I'll go 6.
6, okay.
Yeah. Not quite top 5, but
okay. But just outside, like one of those ones that could get into the top 5 at any given viewing or something like that. Yeah. I could dig that. All right, How to Train Your Dragon 2. All right. Sounds good. Next on the horrors, what we got?
All right, I didn't want to write the whole title, but we've got Dream Warriors.
Okay, that's Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. Okay, this one's going to be a top 5er because I dig this movie a lot, and I've got on my 5 slots. Now, where does it go? That's a good question because it's probably like legit. Like even in my personal list, I don't know if it's not like top 5 in my personal list, but probably like a top 10. But then again, I don't know what's coming on this list, so I could easily put it in this top 5 for this list, not knowing what's coming because it's my favorite of the series. Chuck Russell directed 2 of my favorite horror movies all the time because he did this and then he did the Blob remake the year after, which I also am super high on. It's a really good one. I'm going to take a jump here. Let's go number 3 for Nightmare on Elm Street 3. It's appropriate. Let's do it. Yeah, let's go Dream Warriors at number 3. I'm going to take a little jump with that one.
This is
I
also
feel
my
I feel
favorite
comfortable with that.
franchise.
It's so much fun, just all the
Yeah.
powers that they have, and the setting with the mental hospital works. And I think Freddy's a great balance of funny and scary in this one. Like he
Mhm.
strikes just that proper balance where he's funny, but there's also some. It has one of my most cringe-inducing, like not cringe like bad. I mean like squirmy sequences with when he pulls the tendons out and he's doing the marionette thing with the
Oh
kid.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
it makes my skin crawl every time. It's so creative, and yeah, how he builds it around each kid. I love this movie. Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. So, yeah, Dream Warriors. Okay, so I took a stab there. We'll see what happens. But you are up next. Here's the spin. Okay, we got another Pixar, Jacob. So let's see if it's up to snuff or not. We're going the original Finding Nemo.
Okay. I really enjoy this movie. I think the dynamic between Marlin and Dory is a lot of fun. Nemo and the fish tank gang is a lot of fun. Then um, the animation is beautiful. It's a really good Pixar movie. Um, Man, this could be a top five for me. Just
Mm.
not knowing, but it's so hard not knowing what's on the list. I'm gonna be safe because
Okay,
I do enjoy this more than the second How to Train Your Dragon. Although, um, I'll go five.
go five. Okay, all
Five for
right,
Finding Nemo.
all right. Well, let's see if it ends up cutting the mustard on that top five or there. All right, for Finding Nemo. Okay, sounds good. All right, Finding Nemo, Pixar, get some
Oh,
representation here. But yeah, what do you got for me?
we have The Exorcist.
Okay, so I the Exorcist for me, they're like the Beatles. The Exorcist is like the Beatles for me. What I mean by that is I respect the Beatles more than I like the Beatles. Much more
Mm.
same as I respect the Exorcist more than I watch and really enjoy watching the Exorcist. I'm due for a rewatch. It's been a minute, but I did get to see it in a theater not that long ago. It still is a good movie. There's really good performances. There's legitimately creepy stuff. It's not a personal favorite, so I'm going to feel comfortable putting it in the bottom five. Maybe that'll bump me, or hurt me with my credibility with some horror fans, but it's not a personal favorite like that I go back to a lot. I like The Exorcist 3 a lot more, actually. So I'm going to go 17. I'm going to hit that 17 slot for The Exorcist. I know that might be blasphemous to some people watching, but it's not one I go back to a lot.
Yeah.
It's good, it's solid, it's watchable, but I like other movies on this list more. So, all right. Okay. Let me shuffle the wheel again. Here we go. Another spin for Mr. Barber. Let's see what comes up here this time. Oh, could get interesting. Okay. So we have our first, Jacob, entry in the 90s Disney Renaissance with Hercules.
Okay. Um,
And if you want to hear us talk more about the 90s Disney Renaissance, you can go back into the archives of podcasts about movies where we talk
yeah,
the Disney Renaissance movies from the 90s in detail.
yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm not as high on this as most people. Some people call this like their favorite of the Renaissance. I'm like, not me. Like I think this is bottom five of the Renaissance for me. Which isn't saying a lot because like the Renaissance is really good. There's
Yeah.
only one in that time period that I would say is like
Pocahontas.
yeah, and even then, it's
Yeah.
still got really good animation and really good music.
It's like if it was on for your kids where you work, like you'd watch it. You know what I
Right.
mean? You'd be totally
Yeah, like,
fine with it.
yeah.
Yeah. No
Um,
complaining. Yeah.
I'm already forgetting where I ranked some of these. Shoot.
Well, that's why what we're doing. That's why we're just doing the thing with the numbers. That's
Oh
why that's
man.
all we're doing is marking off numbers. So I can't exactly remember. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not as high on this as most people. I'm gonna go 15 for
15.
Hercules.
Okay. 15 for Hercules. All
I
right.
still think it's a good movie. Like
Okay.
I still yeah, like it's got great music. And Danny DeVito as Phil is just a lot of fun.
Danny DeVito's great. Yeah, he is very, very good.
Speaking of Dan, I was watching this YouTube channel. And they were playing a game called Say Anything, and it said pitch the worst Superman. And so somebody picked Mel Gibson. Somebody else picked. I I can't remember who, but it was. And then somebody was like, "I think I misunderstood the assignment and accidentally pitched the best Superman because I put Danny DeVito."
Hey, assholes! Yes, that'd be good. All right.
Oh, told
It's
you I
gonna
might
be a
have put
tough
some
one.
sneakers on here.
Is this stinker?
It might be
Okay,
the
let's
Black
see.
Christmas from 2019.
Oh, yeah, that's a stinky one. I'm not a fan. I watched it once. You know what? Fuck it. Just throw it in that 20 spot. I don't think I'm gonna get like. You know what? There might be worse movies on here, but I might get more enjoyment out of them than I get out of that movie. That movie was just kind of a miserable experience all around. So yeah, I don't think I have a problem. Just quickly gonna throw this in the bottom because everything I can say for sure that I've ranked so far, and I don't remember every single one, is better than Black Christmas 2019. So I'm okay with that. So yeah, it's just. It's like very preachy and like it's not scary, and I don't even think the performances are that good. Carrie Elways isn't even that great in that movie. It's not a very fun experience. Yeah, I can never see myself going back to it. The original one, on the other hand, if you throw that in there, that might be a little trickier because I very much like the original 74 from Bob Clark. So, all right, one other spin, Mr. Jacob. Let's see, are we about halfway there, something like that? Okay. All right. I hope you've seen this one. We'll see. I have the Jerry Seinfeld film B movie on here.
I have seen B movie.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, I actually quite enjoy this movie.
Okay.
I think this movie is just a lot of fun. It's a lot of nonsense. It's like I think Jerry Seinfeld is like, I have a lot of money. I want to make an animated movie. I want to make what I want. That being said, it's not one that I've gone back to a lot, but if it was on, I would watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go 17.
17. Okay, filling that gap there. All right.
I'm kind of using up some of my bottoms.
I saw B movie once in the theater. I've never seen it again, but I just have never come across it again for me to watch it. So I don't know if it holds up or not. I have no idea. My audience seemed to enjoy it, but it seemed very forgettable at the time.
All right, we've got Hereditary.
Hereditary. Okay. So Hereditary is one of those movies you need to be in the mood to watch. I've watched it twice. I saw it in the theater, watched it again for like a horror show that we did. Really sat down and watched it. A great performance from Toni Collette, maybe one of the greatest horror performances of all time. I like a good creepy cult movie, which is kind of what it sort of becomes in the last act. There's some good stuff where there's some people kind of hanging around in the background and things. It's not super rewatchable, but it's really damn good. I'm going to put that right at number 7. Let's go number 7 for Hereditary. I feel pretty comfortable about that. And by the way, that was my 10th pick, and we're each kind of on our 10th one. So we're literally about at the halfway mark right now. So yeah, about half the spots remaining. And then like I said, I've got about 15 movies. I got actually 14 movies left on here. So we'll see which ones get left off. I would say we've already spent some of my alternates. So we'll see how many of the regular ones we get to. Quick little spin here, scrolling around. Okay, so we're going to a different studio now. Brand new one we haven't talked about yet. We're going to the world of Don Bluth, Jacob.
Okay.
Produced by Steven Spielberg with An American Tale, the original. An American Tale with Fievel.
Yeah. I actually just rewatched this not too long ago because we were doing 80s.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Not Tier Ranker, but for Rankum. And so I rewatched this one, and yeah, it's really good. It's a lot of fun. And then not so fun at points like when he loses his dad. Like, yeah,
the animation itself is kind of like downer, but for a reason.
Yeah.
Like it's very like kind of thunderstormy and dark, and like he's navigating this world he doesn't know, and like he's getting chased by the cats. Like it's kind of scary. Like there's some scary stuff in there.
Where did this rumor that there's no cats in America come from?
Yeah, whoever started that rumor is an idiot.
Started that?
I don't know, some
Um,
dope.
but yeah, no, this one's really good. But yeah, no, it's the 80s was just a dark time for animation. Like some of
Yeah,
the gore
this
is
and
just
Secret of
dark.
Nim, and yeah, I mean
Um,
Bluth wasn't afraid to go a little darker with his stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and not talk down to his audience. I could at least appreciate that. You know what I mean? Make
yeah.
quality stuff.
So I will go because I quite enjoyed it, and I even enjoyed it more upon the rewatch. I'm gonna go just outside the top 10. I'll go 12
Number
for an
12.
American
Okay,
Tail.
sounds good. American Tail. Okay. All right. Sounds good. American Tail at number 12. And we're within our final 10 here. So
Yeah,
the spots are going to start dwindling. I've got 3 spots above number 10 and a couple spots below number 10. So yeah, hopefully some of these are good because man, I'm going to be screwed if there's some not
well,
as good movies on here. We'll
I
see.
don't think we've ever talked about this one. We've got Christine.
Christine. Okay. So Christine is interesting. It's the only John Carpenter or Stephen King adaptation he ever did. And it Christine's okay. The soundtrack, the score is really good. There's some good kills. I like the story. I forget the main character's name, but he kind of gets possessed by the car and kind of
Mhm.
starts turning evil. And the car kind of defends him. I feel like there's a chunk missing in the middle, though. He kind of jumps from like good guy to bad guy very, very quickly in the middle, from what I've seen. It's been a minute since I watched it, probably about 5 or 6 years. Um, I'm not super high on it, but it is solid. So I'm gonna use that number 16 spot that's open right now for
Okay.
Christine, and go with that because it's well directed with Carpenter. It's got a good score, good performances, but I don't find it super rewatchable personally. I know some people like it more than I do. Yeah,
So I've got a steelbook, and
yeah,
it's got a really cool picture of the car, but then
yeah.
it's got all this.
All this
Why do we
writing.
need all this on the cover?
Yeah, that's weird. Why can't it just be a big picture of the car? I don't understand
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
I like telling us all about the car, and I'm like I got it because I wanted to see the movie,
Yeah.
and this was funny enough. Best Buy only had a steelbook and not like just a normal Blu-ray of it.
Right.
I'll get it. Like,
The normal Blu-ray is just a picture of the car with the headlights on, like straight forward. It's
yeah,
kind of like the main
I would
uh,
prefer that.
cover. Yeah. That's a much better one. But all right, sounds good. So yeah, I put Christine in that. Let's get the wheel spin for Jacob here. Let's see what pops up. And okay, this could be an interesting one. I don't know if we've talked about this one extensively, but we're going to go into the Lego world with Lego Batman, the Lego Batman
Oh,
movie.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a lot of fun. I think if any character from the Lego movie was going to get a spin-off, I think this was the right choice,
Mhm.
in my opinion. I still don't know how The Boss Baby got nominated for Best Animated Feature
But this
over
didn't.
this.
Yeah.
It's still a decision that baffles me because, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Great voice cast. I think that just I really dig the animation style. Looking at what I have. It's not quite. This is another one that's not quite top 10 for me, so I'm gonna go. I'll fill in that 13 spot.
13th spot. Okay, for Lego Batman. All right. Okay. Yeah, I can't watch it that much because it has that same animation style that kind of makes me queasy, like with Spider Verse. So if they make another sequel to it, I'm probably gonna have to skip that one in the theaters. I know I'm going to be out of the conversation when the new Spider Verse comes out of people talking about it, but it just is what it is. Maybe I'll try it on when it comes to home video.
All right.
All
We've
right.
got one that I added because I recently bought this movie. Still haven't opened it up. I need to do that, but it is
Okay.
The Dentist.
The Dentist. Okay, so I rented The Dentist the first time I saw it when I was doing my Blockbuster adventures in like 2002 to like 2005 when I was going literally every Wednesday because they did for the rewards members. Not only on Wednesdays did they do half price non-new releases. So that was good for me because I just wanted to dig into older movies, but they also did rent one, get one free. So I would rent like 10 movies for like $10. I mean, for like nothing, and just go every week. And The Dentist was one that just when I got to it in the horror section, I rented it 1 and 2. And yeah, it's Corbin Burnson goes crazy, starts torturing people in the dental chair, especially his a girlfriend who cheats on him and does a real number on her mouth. I know it sounds dirty, but he does as a dentist. It's a lot of fun, but it ain't great. So I know I'm limiting my options here, but that number 18 spot's looking real good for The Dentist. So let's just go with that.
All right.
Yeah, it's fun. It's watchable. I haven't cracked open that Blu-ray set yet. I'm anxious to do so because when I do it, I just want to watch both of them just in the same afternoon. But yeah, they're I got it. Where is it? Right. Yeah, we both have it. Yeah, we got that. It's a Vestron video. Yeah, The Dentist 1 and 2 right there.
Mine's around here somewhere.
Yeah.
What you don't see is behind me are just stacks of movies because my shelves are full and I haven't been
right. I had to
yet.
get another shelf not too long ago. So next to me, actually in front of me, I have one of the ones that just had some of my series DVDs on them to make room for more Blu-rays. I needed another shelf for Blu-rays. I was completely filled up. So, all right, let me shuffle this thing up again real quick just to be sure. Here goes the spin. The spin is in. Winding it down here for Jacob. Okay, we're going to see what happens here. We're going back to Pixar. And which one is it, Jacob? It's going to be a little movie that came out a couple of years ago called Coco.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy Coco. I think this is it's definitely the most colorful of the Pixar movies. I think the animation is just gorgeous. I think the music is a lot of fun. And then, people can say, I didn't see the twist villain coming. I think.
Can I be honest? I just watched it for like 6 months ago. I didn't see that coming either, honestly.
Yeah. I feel like some people say they see it coming just so they can sound better. Like
I didn't see.
I definitely saw that coming. Like, no, did you?
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming. I thought it added to the movie. I like the voice performance. I like the last song, Remember Me, when he's singing with Grandma Coco. And again, Pixar just knows how to, hit you emotionally.
I can't lie and say I didn't listen to Un Poco Loco a bunch of times that week after I watched it. That was my favorite. That was my favorite. The one he does in front of the crowd. Down there. I think that song was super catchy. I really like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this one can be a top 10. I'll go number 9 for Coco.
9 for Coco. Okay. Yeah. I think some people would definitely throw it even in that top 3. You know what I mean? I know some people are very, very, very high on Coco.
I know some people have it top 10 all time.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, for sure. So there you go. Coco, number 9. Okay. All right.
And for you.
And oh my God, I got 4 spots in my top 5, man. I'm afraid of what I want to fill this with, man. It better be something good. We'll see. I hope it is.
Well, we had one third entry in a franchise. We've got another third entry in a franchise. We've got Scream 3.
Ooh, that's cool because I'm high on Scream 3. I just did a show about Scream 3 with on Wolfman's channel, Mega Movie Z. Me and Jordan actually joined him and talked about Scream 3. I love Scream 3. I know not as many people are high on it, but I really, really like it. I think it's a ton of fun. Great commentary on kind of how Hollywood treats these properties. I don't know, man. I've watched Scream 3 more than any of the Scream movies. You know what? It's going to be a top 5, or at least in this list. Let's go number 5 for Scream 3.
All right.
Yeah, it may seem a little crazy to some people, but I really, really like Scream 3, so I'm okay with that.
I don't think there's a bad Scream movie.
Yeah, I just like this one more than other people do. Some people put this one at like the bottom of the list, but this is like my second favorite Scream movie. I dig it.
And can I say, I think they are doing a tremendous job marketing this new Scream movie.
It's gonna make money, man. It's gonna make bank even more than last year, because last year there were still somewhat pandemic-y, kind of times. I saw it in the theater, but I know some people were still a little wobbly. But given how much people liked that last one, and that this one's kind of changing the setting, like you said, they've been doing a good job with the market. I think it's going to make a hell of a lot of money. I think it's going to be at least a good 50-60 million opening weekend. I wouldn't be surprised. I could see that.
It is going to be weird not seeing Nev Campbell or David Arquette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or will we see Nev Campbell? Because some people think she's
Right.
going to be like a killer, and it's all a big marketing ploy. Who knows? I have my doubts, but we'll
Mm.
see. We'll see. But all right, let's give Jacob another spin here. You got a couple more spots to fill.
Still got that final spot too.
You got the bookended ones. You got 1 and
Yeah.
20 still on the board. So okay, we're gonna go to a different style one. This is your boy. This is Tim Burton, Frankenweenie.
Oh, okay. I
Frankenweenie.
really enjoy this. I think it's a fun take on the Frankenstein story. I like the black and white stop motion animation. Oh, I think I'm a lot higher on this than most people. This is a top 10 for me, but it's going to be right there at 10.
Number 10. Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoy this movie. This is a Halloween season movie for me.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't know if it would pop up in the wheel, obviously, throwing all the stuff in there, but
Right.
I wanted to throw an actual Tim Burton animated movie that he directed, not just a Henry Selick movie.
Right.
Something to do with, but people are, he actually did one with Frankenweenie. That's his movie. And yeah, based on his short film, right? He made a short film years ago.
Yeah, in the
Way
80s.
back in the 80s. Yeah. So he finally got a chance to make it into like a full movie. Yeah. I haven't gotten around to see it actually. I need to watch it. And I will at some point. I'll get it. I don't know if there's a 4K, but I'll pick it up. I'm sure it looks great. All right.
All right. We have. I was gonna spell it with 2 V's, but I decided not to because it looked weird. We've got The Witch.
Okay. God damn it. I don't like The Witch. And now I've wasted all my spots.
Oh no.
I'm in the minority. I don't like The Witch. I think it's boring. I will say this. Again, it's very technically well made. There's some good atmosphere going on. And Anya Taylor-Joy, this is kind of one of her big breakouts. She is very good in the movie. I forget the guy who plays like the dad, but he's doing this old-timey way of speaking and like the sort of 1600s language. They did a good job of setting the thing. I think it gets silly with the talking goat at the end, and I just think a lot of it's kind of dull for me. So it is what it is. The lowest spot I still have available is 14, so it's going to be 14. So yeah, the Vivitch at 14, just because that's the lowest one I still have available. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm not high on The Witch. I know I'm in the minority on that one, but I'm not a big fan. But oh well, what are you gonna do? All right. So
6 spots left.
all right, here we go.
We got the bookends.
Yeah, you still got your bookends. You got a couple in the middle here. Okay, we're gonna do another Don Bluth joint. We're going with the original Land Before Time.
Oh man, another one I rewatched because this is also just a breezy.
Yeah,
it's a 68-minute runtime, with like 6 minutes of that is credits for whatever.
Oh,
reason.
since the thing's next to me now, I think I can pull it here. Okay, so I've got my actual DVD sets next to me. Okay, here's the Land Before Time set, right? All 14 films. Can you believe that? That's kind of nuts.
I have a set with 5 of them. I don't have
this one. Well, when I went to buy it again, just in case my niece wants to watch stuff or stuff to put on the background, that's easy. And it's like the price of just the original was like, this set was like $5 more to get all 14 of them. So I was like, well, I mean, that's just stupid.
Right.
Like not to just buy the whole set. Like for whatever reason, it was like $12 for just the single one, but like $20 or something for like this set. It was dirt cheap. I mean, it was nothing. So yeah.
I really like this. I think it's I like the way all the friends come together and we kind of get to go on this journey with them. When Littlefoot's mom dies, it's emotional. Like it's Mufasa dying before Mufasa died. I'm gonna go 11.
11, okay.
Yeah, because it's not quite. I don't think it's quite a top 10er for me, but it's definitely not the worst on the list.
All right. Well, he's still got that looming number 20 looming over this list, and then everything else is in the top 10s left over for you. I have a couple left in my top 10, a couple spots, including number 1. I still have not filled my number 1 and a number 11, from what I can tell from my numbers. So, yeah. All right.
We're gonna go to my favorite horror movie.
Ooh,
Halloween.
Oh,
The original.
78. You know what? I don't know what else is coming. I don't know what else is on the list. On any given day, it's a pretty good number one. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in that number one
All
spot
right.
because I even if there's stuff I personally like more, I think anybody who had Halloween as a number one favorite movie of all time or favorite horror movie, which at one point I probably did, it's still in my top five, but I have a few other ones higher now that I'm older. But yeah, I feel pretty safe just throwing the original Halloween at number one, and I think I'd be okay with that. It's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah.
So I don't think that'll hurt me in the long run, even if there's something
Right.
I personally like a little bit more. So, because who knows if you even have my other ones in my personal top five even on the list? I don't know that. So I'd be taking a gamble without it. All right. So Jacob still got his number one slot, number 3, number 4, number 7, and number 20. All right.
This is going to be
Spinning
very
Yeah,
interesting.
this is going to be interesting. All right. Spinning the wheel, spinning the wheel, spinning the wheel. Okay. This one we have our first Jacob Studio Ghibli movie has popped up. And it's a big one. Grave of the Fireflies.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. This one is really good. It's like I compare it to it's like the Schindler's List of the animated world.
Right.
And that I've watched it a couple times, and I think the animation is beautiful. I think the story is really good, heartbreaking stuff. But I don't want to go back to it very often.
Right.
But I can't deny the quality of it.
It's like Schindler's List. You don't want to watch it, but every time you do, it's damn good. It takes you on a
Right.
journey. Yeah, for sure.
So obviously, I'm not putting it at that 20 spot.
20 spot, right? I warned you. I didn't put a whole lot of stinkers in here, so you're pulling a risky here.
Yeah.
Let me look and see what I'm not going to tell you what I have on the wheel, but I don't know, man. You're gonna have to make some decisions.
I feel that, but this one's not going at 20. I think that
Okay.
would. So I'm gonna go number 7.
Number 7. Okay.
Number 7.
I did throw a couple of Ghiblis in there, so because I know you've seen them. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I know you are. So, all right. Okay. Well, I burned my number 1 spot. Got a couple more in the 10s, and then I've got an 11. So 5 more. We'll see what happens here.
And this is what I meant when I threw a couple stinkers. I have fun with this one.
Okay.
And I know other people have fun with this one. I don't know if you have fun with this one.
Sure.
It's Jason X.
Okay, I love Jason X.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say it's like the greatest movie of all time, but I have a ton of fun with Jason X. I like Jason X a lot. I've seen it a lot. I think it's just a really fun space movie, and just in addition to being a good Friday the 13th movie, I think it's better than Jason Goes to Hell. I would put this, like, if I had to rank the Friday the 13th, which I think I did with Henry, I didn't have it in like that top 3, but I probably had it in the top 5 of the franchise. I really like Jason X. I think it moves. There's some genius some creative kills. You know what? Let's burn that number 8 spot for Jason X. I like me some Jason X.
All right.
I'm okay with that. I like Jason X a lot. I've seen it probably a good 15, 20 times. I like Jason X. And I think, actually, fun fact, it was the first Friday the 13th movie I ever saw in the theater. So, yeah, that was my kind of first big screen experience with Jason. So, all right. Spinning that wheel. We'll see what happens, Jacob.
It's either a top 5 or the worst.
Or the worst. Well, all right. We're going to the Renaissance again.
Okay.
So, but the start of the Renaissance, we have The Little Mermaid.
Okay. Yeah, that one I can make an argument that it's a top 5.
Okay.
Because it started the Renaissance and kind of saved Disney. I think all the voice cast is really good. Ursula is a great villain with just an absolutely great villain song. I think Poor Unfortunate Souls is awesome. I'm not putting it at number 1. I will. I'll go 4.
Go 4. Okay.
I'll go 4 with The Little Mermaid.
I've met 3 people from The Little Mermaid. at conventions. I met Jodie Benson very recently, got a picture with her, and she was great. She's a total sweetheart. I met Christopher Barnes, who does the voice of Prince Eric, but he was also the voice of Spider-Man in the 90s animated Spider-Man
Oh,
series. So instead of signing a Prince Eric thing, I got him to sign like a Spider-Man 8x10. And because I told him, I was like, hey, dude, don't get me wrong, I love Little Mermaid, but like I love Spider-Man, like that animated series is great. And then I got a chance to get something signed. I got to thank for Pat Carroll, who does Ursula, before she passed away, and she was a total sweetheart. And I think I've told you there's a great video. I think I linked it to you at one point. But there's a great video if you haven't seen it. Look up Pat Carroll Haunted Mansion, where she reads the monologue from the Haunted Mansion as Ursula. It's perfect, perfect. If to where you could be like, yeah, this would totally work on the ride. It would absolutely work. She even throws in some improv, like laughs, the that laugh she does in the movie. That's just so great. And you can tell she has a blast playing the character. She always did. It's a fun character to play. I don't blame her. You know what I mean? That's a character that's a blast to play. So, all right. So, Little Mermaid. There you go.
All right, we've got a heavy hitter here.
Okay.
We've got a heavy hitter here for you. We have The Shining.
Yeah, The Shining's a top 10er for me, personal wise. Yeah, Stanley Kubrick is. I had to realize recently that Stanley Kubrick's one of my favorite just general directors of all time, because I like pretty much all but one of his movies, but like 5 of his movies are my favorite movies of all time now. So like that's a qualifier to be one of my favorite directors. Yeah, The Shining's really, really good. I'm going to burn that number 2 spot. Let's fill out that top 3 with The Shining. I feel pretty comfortable with that because I don't know how many other big heavy hitters I'm going to have coming at me. So I feel comfortable taking that gamble. Yeah, with The Shining.
Hot take. I like Dr. Sleep more.
I get it. But I like The Shining more. I'm old school. I like The Shining. I've seen Shining in a theater. If you get a chance to see Shining in a theater, please do so. It will change your life. It's great. It will just give you a much more appreciation of like the atmosphere and the filmmaking, blowing up, the cinematography, everything. So, all right, let me shuffle this thing up again real quick and give it one more spin. Jacob's got 1, 3, and 20. That's quite the leap. All right. So we are going to go back to Pixar. So I don't know if that's going to make it easier or harder. We have the saddest opening in film history with Up.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a sadder opening.
Yeah.
This year,
that Pinocchio, that opening comes close.
Up there. Yeah, no, the opening is really strong, and then I think the rest of the movie is still really good, and it's a fun adventure movie, and I like the relationship between Carl and whatever the scout's name is.
Yeah, whatever his name is. If you don't know, I certainly don't know.
Right, I'm just drawing a blank right now, but yeah, no, and it's I like the world that they go to. And just like some of the creature designs and Doug.
Yeah.
The dog is a lot of fun.
Will you be my master? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't go 20 with this one, but it's not my favorite, so I'm burning that number 3.
Number 3. Oh, he's taking a big gamble. He's leaving himself with no wiggle room whatsoever. It's either the best or the worst. And, okay, we should say not the worst, but it's going to come off as your least favorite.
Yeah.
So yeah, we won't necessarily say worst. All right. So okay, I've got a little more wiggle room. I've got 4, 6, and 11, so I've got a little more room to play than Jacob does. Jacob's taking a gamble here, but yeah, we'll see.
All right.
Okay.
You have. Well, we went from we already got one Jason movie on, and now
another one.
Not quite a Jason movie because it's the first Friday the 13th.
Okay. The first Friday the 13th is solid. It's a solid slasher movie, but in the realm of even the Friday the 13th movies, it's like mid-tier for me. And it's because I just don't know if it has as much to really set it apart. I just think they did the formula better in some of the later movies, like part 2, part 4, part 6 especially, I'm a big fan of. But like you still got Kevin Bacon in there in an early role. That's fun. The twist is good with the mom being the killer. Like if that was your first time seeing it, it's really effective and it
Yeah.
does make it stand out. So I don't have any shame in burning that number 11 spot. I think that's perfectly fine for a Friday the 13th because I don't think it's amazing, but like it's still a good movie. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to watch, and yeah, it's still a decent like 80 slasher movie. So sure, we'll roll with that. Looking at the wheel, Jacob, I feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. I'll just say that. I'm sorry because I said I didn't put a lot of like really bad. I feel like my worst movies you've maybe already heard. Let's just put it that way. So we'll see what happens. But I don't know what's going to pop up. There's 6 left on here, so I'm spinning the wheel right now, and we'll see what you land on. So I don't know. Maybe you're not as high on some of these movies. I don't know, but we'll see. This actually got mentioned in passing earlier because now it's going to be Coraline.
Dang it.
With Leica.
I love this movie. I think it is like one of the creepiest animated movies. Just some of the animation, like the buttons for eyes and oh my god. It does get better every time I watch it. Yeah. It's another Halloween season favorite, but one that I could also just put on anytime and have fun with and enjoy. I don't feel good putting it at 20. So I have to go number 1.
Okay. All right. Well, in a few minutes, we'll see which of these movies you like the least. I'm sure it's going to be something you like. So we'll see. I still have numbers 4 and 6. So both top 10s in my list, but we'll see which one I like more. And I don't know what's coming, so we'll see.
We're going back to a sequel.
Okay. I like sequels for the most part, though. There's a lot of horror sequels, so there's plenty to choose from.
We're going to a holiday. The holiday of Christmas.
Ooh.
With Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
Yes! Oh, I love this movie. Come on, I love Silent Night, Deadly Night too. I'd be fine putting this pretty high because I think this movie's super rewatchable. It's a horrible movie, and yet it's so awesome. This movie's so great. It's one of the greatest kind of sequences ever when he goes on the rampage. Oh, it's just so good. You know what? Fuck it. Number 4 is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Throw it in there. All right. Yeah. I think anybody that knows me though knows how much I've like championed this movie. On different shows, both Christmas horror movie shows on Rankum, that infamous tournament we did of Christmas movies where nobody had seen it besides me, but I sold it into the Elite 8. You know what I mean? Like I sold it single-handedly into the Elite 8 and got it in there. You know what? Like, so it's appropriate for me. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. That I have no problem putting it in there. So at this point, we each only have one spot. It's just a formality of spinning the wheel. Mm-hmm. So now, Jacob, would you like me to put the wheel on the screen for this just to seal your fate?
Sure.
Because it's not like you're going to be able to do anything about it regardless.
Right.
So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and you will see your 5 choices that were left. All right. It's up there. Dumbo, The Princess and the Frog, Jungle Book 67, Princess Mononoke, and A Bug's Life. Are your options.
There's a couple. There's actually 3 I'm okay getting.
Okay, so we'll see if it's one of those. So, all right, the spin is in, sir. Because at this point it's a formality, so I'm just going to show it on the screen because it's not like there's anything you can do about it. And Princess Mononoke from Studio Ghibli may be considered the greatest Studio Ghibli movie of all time, the crowning achievement of Miyazaki. Of Miyazaki.
No.
And Jacob, man, he's just not very high on it at number 20, man. No. I'm just really surprised. He just doesn't like this movie. It's I was afraid that was going to happen. Yeah, I'm sorry. Now he's regretting that
All
Shrek
right.
the Third from earlier, isn't he?
Yeah, and Madagascar too. All right. Well, your number six
All right. What am I
is
stuck with?
your number six is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yay! I love Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I'm totally fine with that being a number 6. Killer Clowns. That's another one I've championed a lot. I think that one's just super, super fun. For what they did with this movie, Jacob, for like $1 million budget, this movie looks great. It's really creative. I love the art design, the creativity of the suits and the clowns. The kills are really fun. The characters are super goofy. It has my boy John Vernon, who plays the dean in Animal House, is like the asshole cop in the movie. Like, he's great. And yeah, I mean, it's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. What I like about it, you hear the title and the movie lives up to the title. It's exactly what you want it to be. So you know what? I'm perfectly fine with having Killer Clowns from Outer Space fill out that number 6 slot. I like it. So, all right. So which one?
On,
Yes,
what
I
could
missed
have
out
been
on.
on your list. I miscounted. I definitely did not have 30.
Okay.
But we had the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, but I like Dream Wars better. Okay.
Halloween 2018.
Pretty good. I like it.
We had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original.
That's pretty good. That's a top 5 if it came up.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Good.
Silence of the Lambs.
Very good.
Get Out.
And softened on it. Softened on Get Out over the years. Saw, even interesting. Not my favorite of the series. Not even a top 5 of the series. I like a lot of the sequels more than the original. So I would have been okay with dropping that in like a bottom 10 somewhere. So yeah, okay. And like you saw on there, Jacob, yeah, you left on the table. Let me pull it back up again. I kind of exited out by accident.
Princess Mononoke and the Jungle Book were two that I was not hoping to get. I love the Jungle Book.
Yeah, the Jungle Book.
I would have been fine at number 20.
Yeah, Jungle Book 67 was still on there. Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
Was on there, but I have a feeling you weren't as high on that one. The original Dumbo from 1991, and A Bug's Life.
I would put those all ahead of Shrek the Third and Madagascar 2, but I would have been okay.
Yeah.
Having them at number 20.
So should we start with yours to kind of just get the burn out of the way, Jacob? Okay. So this is gonna hurt as I read it back to you. But again, these are all blind, so it just is what it is. Jacob's number 20 from 1 to 20. Princess Mononoke at number 20. Right above it at number 19, Madagascar, Escape to Africa. Number 18, Shrek the Third. Which is, I know that's hurting you now because you probably would have dropped that one down if you. Yeah, that would have made a little more sense. Number 17, The Bee Movie with Jerry Seinfeld. Number 16, Ratatouille at 16. Number 15, Hercules. Number 14, Prince of Egypt. Number 13, Lego Batman. Number 12, An American Tail. Number 11, The Land Before Time, the original. Number 10, Tim Burton's Frankenweenie. Number 9, Coco. Number 8, Nightmare Before Christmas. Number 7, Grave of the Fireflies. Number 6, How to Train Your Dragon 2. Number 5, Finding Nemo. Number 4, The Little Mermaid. Number 3, Up. Number 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And number 1, Coraline.
I don't after number 20.
I think your 10, your top 10 you'd be pretty happy with. Those are all movies you really like.
The only thing I would do is switch 2 and 1.
Okay.
Other than that, like I'm not upset with the order. Like I'm not upset having Coraline in the top 2.
Sure.
But like I'm super high on Spider-Verse, and
sure.
I debated putting it number 1, and now
Yeah.
Looking back, I think I should have, but that's the risk you take.
But your big blunder of the evening is Princess Mononoke at 20. I'm assuming so. Yeah, saving that spot. Well, I'm gonna have a blunder or two as you read mine, so not leave. But overall, I think I'll be pretty happy as you read it back. We'll see. I can't remember.
Because I think your number 20 is a legit
It's
number
appropriate.
20.
Okay.
At number 20, you have the 2019 Black Christmas.
Yeah, I'm okay with that one. Giving everything else, even The Witch. It's a better quality, better acting. You know what I mean? Like I would put it higher than Black Christmas. So yeah, that's fine.
At number 19, Orphan.
Yeah.
Number 18, The Dentist.
Mm-hmm.
Number 17, The Exorcist.
Just above The Dentist.
Number 15, Christine. Number 15, The Strangers. 14, The Vivitch. 13, The Original Child's Play. Number 12, Chopping Mall. 11, The Original Friday the 13th. At 10, the classic Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. Number 9, Evil Dead 2. At number 8, Jason X. Mm-hmm. At number 7, Hereditary. At number 6, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Mm-hmm. At number 5, Scream 3.
Yeah.
Number 4, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Number 3, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. At number 2, The Shining. And number 1, Halloween 1978.
I like my top 10. Yeah, my top 10 is all movies I watch a lot that I could dig into at any time. Yeah, even having that Frankenstein at number 10, it's one of the ones I go back to out of those Universal Monster ones the most because I just dig the story. And even the other ones like Jason X feels a little high, like going back to it, but like at the same time, I've watched Jason X like 20 times. So like, even as like a personal thing, like I could even justify that in my head. And yeah, you got goofy stuff like Killer Clowns and Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. But again, anybody who's both of those movies, I think were even in my 32 and like on that tournament fight. And like, and yeah, I've talked about those movies a lot. So I think it fits me, that I have those in there. So and my top 3 are all bangers, man. Like Halloween 78, Shining and Dream Warriors are all like top 10 or top 15 in my personal list. So I'm totally cool with all those being up there. So yeah, that works for me. So hell yeah, man. Well, like we said, we could easily do this all over again.
Easily.
Easily do a whole nother round of this and have a whole nother slate of movies. Either you could either rotate the ones we didn't use back in there or not at all and still pick some bangers throughout history. Same with me. So I could leave the ones in there. I might do that. I might leave the 4 I dropped off or that you didn't get, but like add a few extras to compensate on the next wheel the next time we do it. You know what I mean? Like just to compensate for that. So to make it fair, add an extra 4 or something on the back end. But yeah, this was fun, man. I like this experiment because we get to talk a little bit about some of these movies and then see what would happen. So yeah, I liked it. Good times.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I look forward to doing it again.
Yeah, we'll do it again at some point when we have like an off week where we're not tying into something. We'll do it again just to kind of just to play around with it and talk some movies. So
yeah,
I like it. I like it.
And speaking of tying in, we will. That is what our next show will be about.
Yeah,
because let me see. Where did I?
It'll be in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. We will be doing the Rocky franchise to coincide with the release of Creed 3. It gives me an excuse to rewatch the franchise because it's been a while.
Okay.
And so yeah, I mean, well, except for the first one. The first one is in my 64. Who doesn't love Rocky?
Yeah.
But yeah, it gives me an excuse to rewatch at least the Rocky franchise. Creed and Creed 2 are recent enough that if I don't have time to get back to them,
sure,
then I'm okay with that. But definitely the other 4 or 5 Rocky movies.
Well, that
for a refresher.
Creed 3 will be the one movie I'll be on vacation, but I will duck off while I'm in Arizona to go watch a movie. So that'll give me at least a chance to still keep up with the new release, go watch Creed 3, so that I'll be ready for that one. But yeah, the Rocky franchise is one of my favorites. I've done Rocky trivia matches, literally against Schmodown people. I had a match against JTE, which it's called Benny and Moose Save America on YouTube. You can go see that. That match is up, actually, where I fought, DJ Survivor and JTE in a Rocky trivia match. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, like it's a franchise. Yeah, and we should clarify on here. We don't really do like rankings. We're just going to talk chronologically. We're just going to go through the series, start with Rocky, and just talk the whole series. You know what I mean? And just kind of reminisce what we like, what we may not like, about each one. Just kind of work our way chronologically and just talk about the series, talk about the franchise. And like I said, stuff like this gives Jacob a chance to brush back up, get a little bit familiar with the Rocky movie. Same as we're going to do when we get to our time with Mission Impossible in the summertime. He needs to fill in those gaps, those Mission Impossible. So that'll give him a reason to check those out, fill in those gaps. And same thing, we don't rank them. We're just going to talk about them and just chit chat about them and talk about what we like. So yeah, that's what we'll do.
Yeah, we'll do that in a couple weeks, and then we're gonna start a James Bond series as well, kind of Bond by Bond, and we're not talking about 26 movies.
No, and that'll work with me because a couple of those I've rewatched fairly recently for like battleground matches and stuff, so they're pretty fresh in my head. Maybe revisit, maybe 2 or 3 of them, but yeah, we'll start with Connery. So we're just gonna talk Connery Bond, so pretty much early Bond, Dr. No through Diamonds Are Forever. There's one Lazenby Bond in there, but we're going to pair Lazenby with Dalton to kind of pad out Dalton a little bit. The 2 Bonds that didn't quite get their real chance. You know what I mean? Like those guys, Dalton only had 2, Lazenby just had his 1. So we'll throw those in together. But Connery, I mean, he started it all, and he's got some good ones. He's got some not so good ones. I have my thoughts about Diamonds Are Forever, but we'll do that. Eventually down the line, we've got we're going to do a podcast at some point about wrestling movies or wrestling scenes in movies. We're going to break down some of those, us being a wrestling fan. So maybe around WrestleMania time, we might do that. Just talk like wrestling, even just, random scenes in movies and just, how they depict it and all that kind of stuff. And eventually down the line, late April, early May, we're going to do something we did last year. We're going to do our anniversary show, movies that are now celebrating anniversaries in 2023. So movies from 5 years to 50 years. So give us a chance to, I've already burned 2 of them with the Pacino thing and the Deer. I watched Serpico and the Deer Hunter for that, which are already on our list. So I burned 2 of those already. If I keep spacing them out like that, I think I'll be good. So, but yeah, that'll be fun when we get to it. We've got our list ready to go for that. Behind the scenes. So yeah,
we got some first time watches, some rewatches, just movies that we like and we want to champion. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
One of the movies we talked about tonight, The Exorcist, is going to be on there because we've got a 50th anniversary of The Exorcist from '73, which it'll give me an excuse to rewatch it. Like I said, it's been a minute, so I'm going to rewatch it, reevaluate it. As I've said before on other shows, I heard a podcaster, one of my favorite guys, Patrick Bromley, had a quote that I think he got from somewhere that said, "The movie will never change, but you might. So always never give up on something." You might see something in a movie that you never saw before because of life experience and whatnot. So, never totally give up on a movie. That's why people give rewatches every now and then just to see how they do. So we'll have that on there, and that's a nice little tie-in. So we got some good stuff coming up. I'm looking forward to all of it.
Yeah, and as far as the channel goes, Austin and I will both be back tomorrow night for Tier Anchor. We will be doing animated movies from 2017 until now. So maybe 1 or 2 movies that you heard tonight might get.
I saw a movie that Jacob hasn't seen that's recent on there, which is kind of a first for ever. That I saw a movie before he did that he probably should have seen by now, and he hasn't seen it.
I probably should have by now, but I haven't. So we'll be back tomorrow talking about those. And then Monday we'll be back with some wrestling. Some of the marks. Don't get used to the Monday shows. It's not always on the Monday. It just happens to work out with the schedule. Okay.
And this is also because, again, I'm going on vacation this week. So we just decided to go ahead and do another Monday show. And then you guys will probably do an episode without me talking some current events, talking about some current AEW, some current WWE, road to WrestleMania type stuff, whatever, looking ahead. So a little current news and events, things like that. I'm sure Jacob can whip up some stories to talk about and some recent storylines and things. And if y'all want to do an NXT draft, y'all talk about that. That's not really my forte, but y'all might grab a guest star, maybe Mesa or somebody like that, or Matt Mageau, one of those guys, and maybe guest and do an NXT draft with you guys. So I'm cool with that if y'all want to do that while I'm gone, because it's not really that's not really my forte.
NXT draft.
But so y'all get
ready.
on that. The ECW drafts are not your specialty, Jacob. So I understand that.
Hey, ECW on Sci-Fi. I'm I'm gonna own that. That's that.
Yeah.
This one's gonna be mine.
Sure.
Maybe.
But I'll also be interested to get your thoughts. We're going to do a retro review of ECW Heatwave '98, just watching an old actual ECW pay per view all the way through. I'll be interested to get your thoughts to kind of. I know you're not really
Yeah,
like
I need
big
to.
on ECW, but watching like one of the older shows all the way and just see what you think of like kind of how they run a pay per view because it's really interesting. So how some of the matches come about. So yeah,
Well, it's
it's
better
fun.
than December to Dismember.
It is.
think
It
it'll be
is.
okay.
Heatwave '98 is kind of generally speaking. There's no like 5-star matches, but it's kind of generally considered one of the most consistent and really good pay per views they ever did, as far as all the matches being like good or fun. So yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, so that's what we got coming up. So as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that bell because again, we don't always go live at the same time. And if you want to watch us, hit the bell if you want to watch live. And if you're watching on the replay, also thank you for watching. And I'll make sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section. It's hard to do a blind ranking. So if you just want to like give us your top 5, maybe I'm interested to hear that.
Yeah.
So that is Austin. I am Jacob. We will be back in a couple weeks. So until then, be good people.
Mm-hmm.